The third Mughal emperor, Akbar I. But was he really that great? By 1540, Humayun, the emperor of the Mughal dynasty at the time, had just lost his throne to Sher Shah Suri. This caused him to flee to Sindh, where he met Hamida Banu Begum. And on the 15th of October, 1542, Abul Feth Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, better known as Akbar I, was born. However, within only 3 years, in 1545, he was separated from his parents, who had fled to Safavid Iran. Meanwhile, the infant Akbar stayed with his paternal uncles Kamran Mirza and Askari Mirza in Kabul. However, Humayun eventually reunited with his son in 1545 following his recapture of Kabul. At just the tender age of 9, Akbar received his first experience as a ruler when he was made governor of Ghazni. Following Humayun re-establishing the Mughal Empire after 15 years, he appointed Akbar as the governor of Lahore. However, Humayun's second stint as Mughal emperor was short-lived, as he tragically passed away 6 months into his rule. This led to the heir apparent Akbar I to assume the throne on the 14th of February 1556. Initially, Bayram Khan ruled as a regent king until Akbar would come of age. Like many other Mughal rulers, upon Akbar coming to power, he was faced with an array of problems. Firstly, in the Punjab, his claims were disputed by Sikandar Shah. Furthermore, Kabul was practically independent as it was ruled by his half-brother Mirza Hakim. Added, there were many internal issues plaguing the Mughal Empire, such as a declining economy as well as a famine. However, the biggest threat to Akbar was Hemu, a general and wazir of the Suri Empire. He had managed to successfully capture Delhi and Agra following the Battle of Tukhlabad, defeating Tardi Beg's forces. As a result of the news, Akbar and Bayram Khan headed towards them. The two armies clashed at Panipat in November 1556, not far from the first Battle of Panipat. The 10,000-strong Mughal army emerged victorious against the Sur Empire, whose forces were estimated to be 3 times bigger. The next issue for Akbar was Sikandar Shah, who was a contender to the Suri throne. In late 1556, he had managed to defeat the Mughal general Khizr Khwaji Khan at Chamari. Bayram Khan then sent Khan Alam to assist Khizr Khwaji Khan, causing Sikandar to retreat to Sivaliks and took refuge in the fort at Mau under the Nurpur kingdom. After 6 months of besieging the fort, Sikandar finally surrendered in May 1557. In the following years, other claimants to the Suri throne had their power diminished, such as Muhammad Adil, who died in battle in the same year. Meanwhile, Ibrahim Shah Suri found refuge in Orissa. However, issues began to rise within the Mughal government, as the relationship with Akbar and Bayram Khan began to sour due to trivial matters. This eventually led to Akbar exiling him to Mecca. Initially, he did not want to rebel, but when Maham Anga and her son Adam Khan sent Pir Muhammad to force Bayram out of the Mughal borders, this prompted him to rebel, but he soon surrendered. Akbar gave him 3 options: to receive the districts of Kalpi and Chandari, or be an advisor in the Mughal court, or continue his journey to Mecca, in which he subsequently picked the latter, though he never reached his destination, as he was assassinated by a group of Afghans led by Mubarak Khan Lohani. Upon assuming full control over the empire, Akbar began a series of conquests that led to the Mughal expansion into central India. Firstly, in 1561, the Mughal army under Adam Khan and Pir Muhammad began an expedition against Baz Bahadur of Malwa, in which they successfully captured the city. However, Adam Khan kept the wealth acquired, which enraged the emperor, subsequently prompting Akbar heading to Sarangpur, in which he defeated and took Adam Khan's wealth, leaving Pir Muhammad as governor. Meanwhile, in 1561, Sher Khan, the son of Muhammad Adil, rebelled, though Khan Zaman, alongside reinforcements, managed to defeat them. Though in the aftermath of the victory, he conducted himself in the same way as Adam Khan, keeping the spoils of war. Despite this, the emperor gave them favorable terms when they met at Kara, in which he allowed him to keep his position as governor of Jaunpur. The following year, in 1562, Mirza Sharfuddin successfully conquered the city of Merta. Meanwhile, at the same time, Pir Muhammad was overthrown by Baz Bahadur, which led to Akbar sending an army under Abdullah Khan Uzbek, who managed to retake Malwa and drive away Baz Bahadur into exile. In 1564, Akbar continued his conquests, launching a campaign against the Garha kingdom without any provocation. It is estimated that the Mughal army under Asaf Khan numbered at 50,000, in which they defeated the Garha kingdom. The next region that Akbar decided to conquer was Chittor, with historians suggesting it was due to the fact that Rana Uday Singh, the king of Mewar, had sheltered Baz Bahadur. Added, without defeating the Mewar kingdom, Akbar could not fully assert himself as the ruler of the north of India, leading to a Mughal invasion in October 1567, in which the siege lasted 5 months, causing the downfall of the Mewar kingdom around February 1568. Furthermore, Akbar began an expedition on Ranthambore, whose ruler Raja Sultan Rai was a Hara Rajput of Bundi, a vassal of Mewar. This resulted in another military success for Akbar, capturing the fort in only a few months. Following the successes at Chittor and Ranthambore, it increased Akbar's prestige, and the next target was Kalinjar, which appeared to be unconquerable to many people. And in August 1569, Akbar dispatched Majnun Khan Kakshal to defeat Raja Ramachandra of Bathar, the ruler of the region. However, he offered little resistance, leading to a swift Mughal victory. In 1570, Akbar visited Nagar, where the rulers of Jodhpur, Jaisalmer and Bikaner submitted to Mughal rule. This meant that most of the Rajputana had accepted Akbar's suzerainty. The Mughal emperor then turned his attention to Gujarat, which was an exceptionally important region. This is due to the fact it was a rich emporium of trade between the Turks, Persians, and Europeans. Added, it lay on the way towards Mecca, in which Akbar was anxious to protect it. Lastly, Gujarat had been home to many rebellious Mughal nobles. Upon Akbar turning his attention to Gujarat, a civil war had just begun, in which Itamid Khan had requested help from the Mughal emperor, leading to the Mughal emperor sending 10,000 soldiers under Khan Kalan towards Ahmedabad in 1572, as he successfully conquered the city, as well as Mumbai and Surat. Itamid Khan then appointed Khan Azam as the governor of Gujarat to commemorate his victory. However, after fleeing to Daulatabad, Hussain Mirza returned to Gujarat in the following year in 1573, in which he began to form ties with other disaffected nobles, proceeding to take up arms against Khan Alam. This caused Akbar to return to Gujarat in such speed that they were shocked to find him. The Mughal emperor swiftly defeated the rebels, subsequently restoring order in the region. Akbar then returned to Fatehpur Sikri, where he built the Buland Darwaza. Suleiman Karana, the Sultan of Bengal, had accepted Akbar's suzerainty in 1568. However, he died only 4 years later in 1572. As a result of his heir, Daoud, claiming independence, he proceeded to attack Zamania, which was a part of the Mughal Empire, prompting Akbar in 1574 to undertake a successful expedition, causing Daoud to flee to Orissa. Akbar then returned to Fatehpur Sikri and left Muni Khan in charge. The Mughal army subsequently emerged victorious at the Battle of Tukrai in 1575, which led to the annexation of Bengal and parts of Bihar. The only region that remained under Daoud's jurisdiction was Orissa. In the following year, in 1576, he rebelled in an attempt to retake his lands. This eventually led to the Battle of Raj Mahal, in which Daoud was killed in action. The conquest continued for Akbar, as in the same year he turned his focus to Mewar, as he desired a stable route to Gujarat from Mewar. A number of envoys were sent to the ruler Maharana Pratap to accept Mughal suzerainty, though he refused every single one, leading to Akbar taking up arms against the Mewar kingdom. This culminated in the Battle of Haldigati in 1576, where the Mughals emerged victorious, annexing Golconda. The next objective for Akbar was the conquest of Kashmir. At the time, it was under the rule of Sultan Yusuf Khan. The Mughal conquest began in 1585 and lasted for 4 years until the Kashmiri Sultan finally surrendered in 1589. Since 1574, the island fortress of Bakar had been under Mughal rule. In 1586, the Mughal governor of Multan tried and failed to secure the capitulation of Mirza Jani Beg, the independent ruler of Fatah in southern Sindh. By 1590, Akbar appointed Khan Khanam to conquer Fatah, leading to the city alongside Sewan to be incorporated into the Mughal Empire in the following year. In preparation for retaking Kandahar from the Safavids, Akbar ordered the Mughal forces to conquer the rest of the Afghan-held parts in Baluchistan in 1595. The Mughal general Mir Masum led an attack on the stronghold of Sibi, which was northeast of Kirtan, and defeated a coalition of local chieftains in battle. The region of Kandahar had initially been under Mughal rule, but in 1558, while Akbar was consolidating his rule over northern India, the Safavid Shah at the time, Tahmasp I, seized Kandahar and expelled its Mughal governor. However, by the early 1590s, the governor of Kandahar, Muzaffar Hussain Mirza, was not on good terms with Tehran. This then allowed for Shah Beg to take control of the region without any serious opposition, in which Kandahar was then incorporated into the Mughal Empire. In 1591, Akbar sent several diplomatic missions to the Deccan sultans, but by 1593, the Mughal emperor was inclined to start military operations. They managed to defend their territory up until 1596, when the Mughals had briefly taken Berar. However, in the following year, in 1597, the Deccan Sultana, Chand Bibi, attempted to recover the area. He then sent Prince Daniel to take charge of the campaign against the Deccan Sultans, in which Ahmednagar and Berar fell in 1600, quickly followed by Khandesh in 1601. The emperor then appointed Daniel as the viceroy of Mughal Deccan and left for Agra in April 1601. This would be Akbar's last conquest. As a result, due to the successes of Akbar's conquests, he managed to subdue a large portion of central India, causing the borders of the Mughal Empire to reach a territorial peak it had never reached before. Many of the Mughal officials that had served under Humayun preferred his style of government in comparison to Akbar, who increased centralization. One such example was the governor of Malwa, Abdullah Khan Uzbek, who began a rebellion in 1564. Akbar had briefly detained Abdullah for 2 weeks, though he fled from Mandu. However, Akbar managed to defeat him. Qara Bahadur was then appointed as the governor of Malwa. This dissatisfaction was also felt by Khan Alam and Ibrahim Khan, who began a revolt in Khanuj as they disliked the growing centralization of the Mughal Empire, as well as the fact they believed they were not rewarded for their efforts in re-establishing the dynasty alongside Bayram Khan. Initially, they defeated the Mughal army in 1565. Meanwhile, Khan Zaman and Bahadur joined in the rebellion, successfully capturing Mankipur. This prompted Akbar to take matters into his own hands, finally defeating the rebellion after 2 years. In late 1580, Muhammad Yazidi, the Qadi of Jaunpur, incited a rebellion, as Jesuit priests invited to Akbar's court had insulted Islam as well as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, wanting Akbar to be deposed for his half-brother Mirza Muhammad Hakim. This insurrection spread to the regions of Bengal and Bihar. As the Mughal emperor saw Hakim as the source of the threat, he sent an army under Man Singh to Kabul, which his half-brother governed. This prompted Hakim to flee to Gurband. Meanwhile, Akbar managed to enter Kabul in August 1581. This caused Hakim to accept Akbar's suzerainty. Meanwhile, the Mughal emperor sent troops under Todarmal, who defeated the rebels in Bihar and Bengal. One of the biggest contributions of Akbar's reign was the centralization of the Mughal Empire, in which large amounts of power rested on him. Though he did have a council of ministers to help him. The government was reorganized from subas, which were provinces, to divisions known as sarkars, which was then further divided to paraganas, which were then comprised of villages. During Akbar's rule, the Mughal capital changed many times, as firstly he shifted it from Agra to Fatehpur Sikri in 1571, but was later changed again to Lahore in 1585. Historians have given numerous reasons for this, including an insufficient or poor quality water supply at Fatehpur Sikri, Akbar's campaigns in the northwest areas of the empire, or loss of interest. However, near the end of his rule in 1598, it changed back to Agra. The reign of Akbar is associated with an increase in religious tolerance as Sunni Islam became less dominant within the Mughal Empire. Immediately within 3 years of becoming an independent ruler, he abolished the pilgrimage tax in 1563, which was a specific tax that Hindus had to pay when making pilgrimage. And in the following year, in 1564, he abolished the jizya, a poll tax derived from the Sharia that non-Muslims were obligated to pay. Furthermore, in 1579, he issued a declaration that was signed by many prominent scholars within the ulema, which declared he was the caliph and could issue fatwas at his own will. In September of the same year, Jesuit priests were invited to visit the court of Akbar. The emperor had them translate the New Testament and granted the Jesuits freedom to preach the gospel. He founded the Ibadat Khana in 1575, in which he invited several theologians, poets, scholars and philosophers from an array of different denominations, including Christianity, Jainism, Hinduism and Zoroastrianism. As a result of a religious experience, in conjunction with discussions at the Ibadat Khana, Akbar came to the conclusion that no religion can hold the monopoly of truth, leading to his most controversial move when he founded the religion of Din Ilahi in 1582. This was a religion that blended Islam, Hinduism and Zoroastrianism into one. Akbar's conversion to Din Ilahi angered various Muslims, among them the Qadi of Bengal and Sheikh Ahmed Sirhindi, who responded by declaring it to be blasphemous. Akbar's rule finally came to an end at the age of 66, after he fell ill to an attack of dysentery on the 3rd of October 1605. He later passed away 3 weeks later on the 26th of October. He is often revered in the West as well as amongst many Hindus due to his religious tolerance and shift away from Sunni Islam. However, due to the fact he done this, many Muslims view him in a negative light. However, what do you guys think? Was Akbar really that great? Let me know in the comments down below.